Welcome back, Gaming with King family, to another NASCAR Manager video, and we're here for our qualifiers of the Florida Sunshine event. Alright, so we're going to be jumping in here. We can only qualify in the juniors division. As you can see, the event settings is different from F1 Clash. Once again, as I said, it's a completely different game. I don't see, the only thing I see that is same as F1 Clash is like the crate opening system. Other than that, it's a completely different game for those who say it's the same game. Alright, so here we go for the Florida Sunshine event. We have our qualifying round. We'll be having 4 races. For our opening round, we'll be having 7 races. And for our final round, we'll be having 10 races. Alright, these races are going to be mixing up a mixture of laps. Hopefully we could get to see some of the tracks before. So we're going to be going into the juniors division. We are currently in the juniors GP. We can't go challengers just yet, or contenders, as we need to move up in the weekly leagues to do so. All right, so junior division it is. We're going to be entering. Let's go. 20,000 to enter, and then I think it's 2,000 for a race. So we have 3,000 coins remaining, just enough to get qualified here. So here's the qualifying zone. Those guys looking pretty good so far, and we're going to be jumping in here, do our first 4 races. Let's look at the prize to see where the crates are arranged. So Series 4 is the crate range for the Juniors GP. For the Contenders GP, I think it was Series 5, and for the Challengers GP is Series 5, and for Contenders it's Series 6 is what I believe it's rated at. So we have our first 4 races up. First track is going to be Daytona. As you can see, it's an 8-lap race with temperatures at 73 to 81 degrees, 0 chance of rain. All right, so we're going to be jumping in to our first race here. And as I said, we're going to go strategy while in the race, while in the video, like we're here. For example, this is going to be an 8-lap race. So the strategy we're going to be going with here is going to be a 3-3-2 strategy. So first stop is going to be for fuel and tires. Second stop is going to be only for fuel, and we should be good enough to go to finish from there. So let's go jump on in to our first race, our first event, with all our new parts, though we haven't upgraded everything, so we are not really on the best car, but I think we have the best drivers, which is going to be the drivers with the best overtaking and fuel management to go the most laps. So if you have a driver with good fuel management, you get to do longer laps. If you have a driver with good overtaking, they'll get themselves in the opening, in the clean air, and be able to pick up some places, which is very important. All right, so let's go here for our first race at the Daytona Speedway in Florida. 8 laps. Let's go. 3-3-2 is going to be the strategy we're going to be using in this one. Let's go. Qualifying, we should be qualifying like midfield, since we have our drivers upgraded a bit. Ooh, look at that. P1, P8. P1 for our Epic, P8 for our second driver. So we're going to give the second driver a little bit of boost to keep him up there. We're going to give him a little bit of extra fuel. I normally wouldn't be using boost, but we're going to give him the extra fuel. We have those boosts, so we're going to be using them with him. P1 is okay. He could stay out there and control P1. All right, so since he's out in P1, we're going to launch him with the boost, while our second driver in P8, we're going to be mindful of him and not boost him too much, because he's in the middle of the pack. Unless we see some clean air there, then we could just cut the boost off as our driver moves up to P1. The rival is in P2, P3. All right, so we're going to hold, and we're just going to maintain our positions from now. For now, we see P8 moving up. We want him to move to the inside line here, but he got blocked. So we see our P1 drivers holding back P2, really nice. All right, so we have the outside line there, so we can give a little bit of boost and get a little bit of room. Then we got blocked in by P6, P1 holding out. We're back down to P10. Switch to the inside, please. 2 laps of fuel remaining. Very important to keep a note on the amount of fuel you have available to you as our second driver is just dropping back. No worries, we're just going to keep him. We wanted him to switch to the inside line. He's not switching over. So we're gonna just keep him holding that line that he's in as we go around for another lap. Then we're gonna be getting ready, as we have taken no damage so far, which is really nice. We're getting ready now to go around to start lap 3, in which we're gonna go to pit for fuel and tires. Lap 3, we're on the outside here. We could give him a little bit of boost here, put him in to go to pit for fuel and tires. Fuel and tires along the outside line. We're getting blocked. Move off, move off. We want that orange car to move off. We could just boost now. Now let's boost, as the orange car is kind of moving up. He's on the boost as well, so we should pick up. Oh, we got blocked now, so we'll just cut him back down as we go on in. P1 is all the way out there, already on his way in, so we're gonna go in. We take no damage going into pit, so you could hit and jam and block and do all of that on your way into pit. You're gonna take no damage. We're back out in, not in P1 with our first driver. We're back out in P6, that's fine, and P13 with our second driver, so that's fine. As we see, the driver with the overtaking, as you can see here, is just making his way and making his way. Come on now, second driver, as we move him up to P11. He's on the outside line here, so we can empty him. We're going for 6 laps, so we can empty him and pick up those positions, but we don't want to burn our fuel down. We want this fuel to be enough to go for the 6th lap. I think some cars are in the pit, so we should pick up back up to P1. We're up to P7. Look at that. P7 moves out to the outside, gets blocked as he's about to start overtaking everybody out there, but it's all right. Come back into the inside line. Please go to the inside line, bro. Please, inside line, as we're about to start our final lap, lap 6, and we should pick up back some position. This is where we're going to be picking up the positions. Start the lap 6, put in the go to pit orders only for fuel. We've saved for reliability, so we don't need to touch that, and we don't need to touch tires, as we're just now going around on the outside here on our way to pit. We see this car in front boosting. We want to switch to the inside line. Please switch down. Please switch down. Switch down. Nope, he didn't switch down. We're gonna boost now for our front driver. He's about to go out. He's on low fuel. Don't run out. Please don't run out before you make it to the pit lane. All right, he's right at the pit lane and he didn't run out. Oh, look at that. Oh, what was that? What was that? Our car. What happened? I don't know what that was, but we're gonna go in and we're gonna get out in front of a good amount of them still, because we just changed fuel. But I don't know what happened there on the pit entry. He basically got jammed up, blocked up. I don't know what he got there, but he got something, and we're just gonna boost now to finish. Hopefully he switches to the inside line here. Yes, he does. Continue, take that inside, all of it. All right, so we should catch up to P2, P3, who's gonna be going into pit. We should catch up to those guys and see if we can squeeze now up onto P2. Can we go switch to the outside? Switch to the outside. Don't slam into the back. No, he slammed into the back. He's not gonna get the overtake. Come on, switch out. One more corner, you can do it. Switch out. One more corner, switch out. He's not switching out, so it's gonna be a P1, P4 finish for our first race here, as our second driver basically got blocked in. We could have been in a P1, P2 situation here if we didn't get swamped on our second pit stop. I don't know what happened there, but something major happened to our second driver as we were going into the pits there, causing us to lose a good amount of places and a lot of time as well. So we weren't able to pick up those places in the pit. So that was the strategy 3-5 on the tire strategy, while we did a 2-stop strategy for this race. Right, so we see the rival with a great car there, but yeah. All right, so let's go jump on into our next race, see what we do in that one. All right, so here we go for our next race. It's going to be race 2, Phoenix Raceway. It's going to be 14 laps on this track. So we're gonna probably divide up the strategy to 6-6-2, or we could go either 6-6-2 or 5-5-4 would be the strategy. I think we're gonna go let me see how much fuel I have at the starting. Then we'll decide if we're gonna go 554 or 662. All right, so let's wait and see how much fuel we get in this race, and then we'll make the decision there. So let's go. Here we go for our race on the Phoenix Raceway. Let's go see how much fuel we get. If we get like 5 laps of fuel, then we'll go 554. If we get like 6 laps of fuel, then we'll go 664, 662. All right, let's see how much fuel we get. P1, P4 this time around, so we're in front of the pack. We're gonna give this driver this little bit of boost to give him that little bit of extra fuel and tire management. All right, we don't really care too much about the reliability, as we're not going to be damaging our car. All right, so we just want to see how much laps are we going to get on fuel. All right, so we get 5 laps of fuel here, so it is going to be a 554. All right, so this track is one of those short ones that the cars go around really fast, so we're going to just try and maintain our position. As we can see, P1 is holding that car behind really nicely, as our second driver is kind of dropping back as he's on the outside line, and P4 is not pushing up. Now we see P2 try to move out to the outside line. Now we see the outside line being cleared up, and we've moved up back to P5 behind P4 as he continues to block the outside line. If we get a clean outside line, we could just extend our second driver out into P1, but he's being blocked in by P5 as P1 has been leading this track really nice. All right, so we're gonna go for 5. It's lap 4 and we have like 2 laps, so we're gonna go for 6 laps. We are gonna go for 6 laps. All right, 2 laps to go. We have 2 laps of fuel, so we can definitely go for 6 laps. Now we see these guys moving in and out. We still see P2 getting, or second driver getting pushed back, so that's lap 5. So we're gonna go for the 6th lap and then put in our go to pit orders. We're not going to pit now, or we should, because it doesn't look like they're gonna make it around, but I think they can. So we're gonna go for it. 6 laps. All right, so we're gonna change fuel and tires. Fuel and tires. Let me see if they run out. If they run out, then the 5 lap would be the best option, but they're in the pits now. They're not running out. They're in the pits. So the 5 laps would be the best option if you're not going to run out, so you don't run out of fuel. But the 6 laps still turned out pretty nice here as we made our stops. All right, so we're back out into P3. All right, so since we did a 6 lap there, we're going to do a 5 lap in this one. Come on, get out there, get out there. We're back out in P16. All right, so we're just going to cruise out and take a look. All right, so we have clean air for our front driver, so we're gonna push him to go tech P1, and we are in the traffic with our second driver. We could cut him down there. Second driver is kind of blocked in here, stuck in traffic. Can he moves to the outside line? Then we could boost him on. If he moves to the outside line, no, he did not move. So we went to lap 6. We're gonna go back to pit on lap 11 instead of lap 12. All right, so we're kind of dropping back with a second driver as our first driver holds down P1. Pretty nice. But no worries, we'll make up back the place with our second driver. As long as he doesn't get what happened to him in the previous race while he was entering the pits, we should be good to make up back some place. All right, so we're at lap 10. Now we're gonna put in the go to pit orders for only fuel for our first driver and only fuel for our second driver. And that should be good enough to make a round into pit. We're gonna enter the pits now, and we're gonna boost. Let's go back to track and watch our second driver. We don't want to see him going clean. All right, so nice clean entry there. We're boosting him through to make it around to his pit stop. Cut him down there as he goes around the corner. They're all on 1 speed in the pit, so no worries. All right, so we're back out in P6 and P7, and now we're just going to be boosting them to finish, empty these tires, empty the fuel now to make it back. So we should pick up back all of those guys. We should pick back up on, because they'll have to make their pit stops. And as you can see, the pit stop here is pretty long. So we should come back out in front. Ooh, slammed into the back of P3. Now we move to the outside and pick it up anyways. So we have one more car to pass who's going to be going to pit now, giving us the 47 points. So the 5.54 would be the better option on this track, though we did a 6.53 and it turned out pretty great for us. So even if you could go to 6.53, it would still turn out pretty great for you guys. One of the key thing is to not get your car jamming. Once you're in the pack, don't try to boost him because they're just going to slam into the back of cars, and that's going to damage your reliability. And you want to keep that reliability in a good position throughout the entire race. All right, so there we go. As for strategy, we did a 6.8 on the tires, which we turned into a 6.52 strategy for 2-stop in terms of fuel. This is why I'm saying overtaking and fuel is the two most important aspect so far that we found in the game, and that was the match and the rival car there. All right, so let's jump on into the next one, see what we do in that one. All right, so we're here for our next race. It's going to be the Richmond Raceway, and this one is going to be long. It's 17 laps. 17 laps. This one is going to be long. So based off of our fuel, we'll decide on what strategy we're going to be using based off of how much laps we could get out of our fuel. All right, so let's jump into it and see how much laps we could get. Here we go for our next race on Richmond Raceway. Let's see how much laps of fuel we're going to be getting here, and then we could decide on strategy on what we're going to be doing. It's 17 laps here at Richmond. That's a lot of laps, I'm not gonna lie, but it's one of those short tracks. As you can see, it's very short. All right, so P1, P5 in qualifiers, which is nice. Hopefully our second driver can get some clean air nice and early. We're just going to give him the boost. Our first drivers don't really need it right now in the game. So we're just going to wait and see how much laps of fuel we're going to be getting for 17 laps. And look at that. Ooh, our second driver is in a great position here. So we're going to boost. All right, we have 6 laps of fuel. So basically going to try to go for 6 laps. So we'll boost off and then we'll block down. All right, so if our second driver could pull out, then we could squeeze him into P2. But for now, we're going to hold it and we're going to go 6 laps. All right, there he goes, going out, pushing out, pulling out. Do we want him on the outside though, is the question, as he blocks P5. All right, so we're going for 6 laps. Let me see where, oh, the pit entry starts right there. Wow, this is another long pit track. All right, so you got to put it in just in time to enter the pits. So that's lap 4. We'll keep going just the way we are. Not going to boost because we don't want to damage our car. And we're on a good line. Can we go to the inside line now? Please go to the inside line, bro. All right, so we're on lap 5. And we have 2 laps remaining. Looks like we could probably squeeze lap 7 in there. Probably for our first driver. For our second driver, we're going to definitely need to go for 6 laps. All right, we're just going to do 6-6. Do the 6-6-5 strategy here, as we could get comfortably. We could go comfortably out with P1 for another lap, but we'll go to pit here as everybody else's go. All right, goes around. Here we go. Are we going to get blocked? Yes, we're getting blocked by a few cars. So we should have gone for the 6 laps, for the 7th lap around. I think we would have definitely made it, but we could empty now or boost to catch up, make up back these places. As we see, we're back out into P2 with our first driver, as he's overtaking is amazing, and he makes the most of it. Our second driver is getting slammed into in the back here. We're gonna have to give him some boost to ease him off into P14, 15 here. All right, so hold it there. All right, so we're going to do now, we went on lap 6, so we should go back on lap 12 and then go to finish from there. So we're going to just let them drive so they can make their way to get up to lap 12. And then we're just going to change fuel. Ooh, slammed into the back there, cost us. We're on the outside. He's trying to get onto the outside, but that car blocked him in. Alright, so we're gonna go to pit now on lap 12 for just fuel. Lap 12 just for fuel. And this is where we're gonna be getting the jump on some of these guys. If we get a clean entry with our second driver here, that will be good for us. Alright, so he's cut down as he's low on fuel. As he's going in, he's already in the pit, so nothing much to stop him there. Now we're just going to be boosting both drivers. Come on, get all of them, don't block B20, all of them. Good, pretty good. We're now just going to boost both drivers to finish from here. For the remaining 4 laps, we're just going to empty those fuel cans. Come on, we should catch everybody in the pits here. Empty those fuel cans. All of these guys should be going to pit, leaving out, so we should catch all of them. Emptying those fuel cans. We're up to P2 with our front driver as he goes around, overtaking. That's why you want the drivers with high overtake. And there goes P1, and here comes P2. All right, so there we go. Awesome strategy, the undercut, and we got it and done pretty well for ourselves there. So no matter what you see happening too early, we could just cut down here as our tires are low and we're way out in front. Nobody's catching back up to us with this pit strategy of the 662, 665, 665. Out of fuel, but we crossed the line in P2. All right, so 665 is what we used here, and it turned out pretty well for us for a nice 1-2 finish. A great race from our drivers. For 75 points, we'll take that. All right, so let's take a quick look now at the debriefing. Here we go. So we did a 611. We're the only one who did a 611. Everybody else did 13, 14 laps on their tires, while we did a 611 there. All right, we see P3 here did a 12.5 on his tires, so his strategy pushed him up to P3 pretty comfortably there. All right, as for the match, those are the drivers and that is the car. All right, so let's jump into the final race and see. Here we go, Daytona, Florida, the Daytona International race. We're back at Florida where we started for 8 laps. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, definitely the 442 is what we're doing here. This track is a bit longer, so it's less laps. The longer laps tracks are a lot shorter. So yeah, 442. Let's give this guy the boost, and as you can see, it's 1 boost per race, which is pretty nice. I like that. It's not consuming 2 and 3 boosts each time we make a pit stop. It's just one single boost for the entire race. I like that. All right, let's go. Where's our second driver? He's on the outside, so we don't need to start off with a boost really with him. He's on the outside. We just need to boost away here with our first driver to hold off P2, who is on the outside of us. Now we move down to the inside line to block. Now we're out, and we can cut him down there as we go for the 3-3-2 strategy here. Not 4-4. I said 4-4-2 earlier. I was wrong. 3-3-2 is what I mean. But look at that. The rival boost is away. He's gone with it, taking P1 away from us. That's fine. We're on lap 2. We'll just cruise for now as P3 is holding the line strong, keeping that inside line nice and tight, so the inside line is not running away from us there. All right, so we're on the back straight, going around, and we're gonna line up now to go into pit. You can also take a look with this button up here underneath the driver of your opponent's fuel level. You can't see the tire level, it just shows the fuel level. So it shows the importance of fuel in the game. So this is why we focus in mainly on drivers with good fuel and overtaking. The best fuel and overtaking we could get is the better drivers we could use. Now I think we have enough to just boost both drivers from here. P4 is not gonna, but we're closing the gap on the rival as we go to pit now. Look at that! It happened again. Is it some form of glitch? while we're going into pit. I don't know if it's some form of glitch while going into pit. I'm not sure, but we're back out with our first driver back out in P4, and we're out in P13, P12 with our second driver. So we're just going to cruise now for 3 more laps as we're blocking here. Pretty nice. Here comes this car trying to go around you on the outside, but we're blocking. The inside line is holding strong, so we'll hold strong on the inside line. Leave P2 and P1 to go to pit now. There they go. And leaving the rival to be out there, holding it down, and we're in the blockage here with our second driver. And once again, once you're in blockage, you kind of don't want to push your driver too hard, because he's going to just slam around and lose reliability that you don't want to lose. You just want to let him drive and hold his place. All right, so we're on the back straight, about to line up to go for our final pit stop, which we're just going to be changing fuel. Look at this clean opening here. Take a little bit of that, and then he just slams into the back of the car. This is why we don't. Car suffering a breakdown there, slowing us down as well, blocking up the way. So we're just going to change onto fuel for now, and then we're closing the gap on P1. And look at that car suffering a breakdown. Oh, isn't the car suffering a breakdown supposed to be slowing? Now he's slowing. Now we could just boost both drivers from here into pit, close that gap to P1. So, ooh, what happened? Oh, his reliability needs to change as well. He took damage. So we'll have to change reliability with our second driver as well as he goes around to make his pit stop. So he's going to be a little bit slower in the pits. Hopefully he doesn't get this jam up. This glitch keep happening to our drivers as we're going into the pits. Seems to be a glitch. Keeps happening while we're going into the pits. But we should get the jump on everybody here. There we go. Back out in P6. We're just going to boost there to finish from there. Alright. It keeps happening. So we're just going to let P6 boost away. He has tires and he has the fuel to go for the entire rest of the race. So we're just going to fire him away all the way home. He should catch P4 and P3 who are in pit there, as they're going to be changing tires. P5 also in the pits. They're going to be changing tires. So we're up to P3 with our second driver. And we could just cut down from there and just let him cruise on home. We got to keep a close eye on the cars behind him though, if we're going to cut down. All right, so we have good distance as our tires are pretty low and we don't want to burn them out and run it out. So we're just going to cruise here. They're catching up. Now we're going to boost him off to the line as these cars were closing the gap, and we can now burn the tires and the remaining fuel to finish in P1, P3. All right, so great drive from there. The jam up in the pits seems like it's a glitch up and enter in the pits. Some of the time your car might get spun around or something might happen to your car and you get a slow pit entry, slower than expected pit entry. So there we go, 3-3, 3-5 is the tire strategy, but we did a 3-3-2 on the pit stops when it comes to the fuel. All right. So overall, we should definitely get qualified with our current score, and that was a rival car. All right. So let's take a quick look now at our final score here. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are doing in your races. Hopefully these strategies help. Hopefully the pit strategies helped you guys a lot and you managed to get a good score in your event. All right, so there we go, 297. So we're down 3 points from this driver here in P1. Got 75 for everything. All right, we could have gotten 75s as well, but that glitch happened and cost us some points there. But though we did recover pretty well. But let's see how the open round and the final round plays out for us. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this video. Let me know down in the comments how you guys were doing in your races, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Walk good, guys. Bye. Shout out Christopher Graves.
And they say if we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love.